you're wrong about virtues of Christianity. And you're wrong if you agree with Sean Hannity. If you think that pride is about nationality, you're wrong. You're wrong when you imprison people turning tricks. And you're wrong about trickle-down economics. If you think that punk rock doesn't mix with politics, you're wrong. You're wrong for hating queers.
Yes, you are wrong. Hello and welcome to You're Wrong on part of the Match Show Network on Spreaker.com. I'm, of course, your host, Matt Stevens. You can always follow me on the Twitter at the Matt Show 365. And you're probably wondering, since this is our first show, what is You're Wrong, Matt? Why would you name a show You're Wrong? I mean, it just seems like you just want to pick a fight with people, and that's kind of what I'm here for. I used to do a podcast called Pick a Fight with Matt Stevens. It's hard to do when you don't get phone calls. So what I decided to do is just tell you you're wrong about things. So what we're going to do on this show, and there's a lot of other shows in the Matt Show Network. You can check us out on Spreaker.com. You can search the Matt Show. We're going to take social norms, things in society that we consider okay, or we look the other way on, or we don't care about, or we just flat out are wrong about. We're going to attack those each week. We're going to do 1 to 2 topics, depending on what I want to do that day. We're going to do things like stand your ground, which is, again, being brought up in other states. We're going to talk about the death penalty today because that's a big topic now because we have all the things going on with that. And for our second topic today, we're going to... We're going to bring it down. And the second topic isn't about facts. It's not about facts. The death penalty is more about facts. Like, you can disprove the need of the death penalty. And we're going to try and do it in a way that the simpletons of the world can understand. That's why I'm doing this and not some sort of expert, because I feel like if I can explain it in a very, very simple way, that the idiots of the world who are ignorant and moronic I might be able to make a crack through their pea brains and get into their heads that these things need to be changed for the good of our country. The second one, of course, is snitches get stitches. You can giggle about that all you want, but if you think about it, we're going to get to it. It goes well beyond the playground at school and is now seeped into our everyday lives to the point where we are now killing and going after the people who do the telling as opposed to the person they're doing the telling on. And that's getting bad as well. So we're going to start, though, with the death penalty because, oh, man, there's so much happening right now. You have... We got lucky yesterday because the Supreme Court put a stay on 2 of the men who are about to get executed in Arkansas. They're trying to execute 8 inmates in 11 days. You have a couple that are apparently mentally handicapped or are suffering from schizophrenia. You have a couple that believe that if the new DNA testing is available, they can be exonerated from that. But today, what this is about, and the reason we're doing this is because we shouldn't be having this discussion anymore. If you are pro-death penalty, you're wrong. Your view is wrong. And there are certain things where there is no wrong view. But this is a wrong view to have. And from a country that, as we see Black Lives Matters put their banners up, and then we see other people put Blue Lives Matters or All Lives Matter, apparently those things aren't true. All lives don't matter. They don't. Because because the same people who were putting up the All Lives Matters banners, hey, Gavolt, say that a couple times, those are the people that want the death penalty. And you can say, Matt, that's a sweeping generalization. Don't do that, Matt. And I'm going to say, yes, I know it is, but it still doesn't make it untrue. Now, is every person that does that? No, but the majority of them are. And if you don't believe me, just ask one of them. I guarantee you, because they're Republicans and they're for the death penalty. Now, there's a lot of reasons why the death penalty is bad. A ton of reasons. It's ineffective. Because, let's be fair, anybody who is of the mental capacity to understand that what they're doing could, in fact, get them the death penalty and they continue to do it is not scared of the death penalty. Okay, that's the first one. And secondly, if you are put in death penalty but you don't understand the repercussions of what you're doing, you shouldn't be killed. because you are not mentally capable. There are a couple men down in Arkansas who are not mentally capable. One of the guys they said has an IQ of 77. 77. Now, just because we have a guy running the country with an IQ of 77 does not mean he should be put to death. Now, we have a constitution in this country. It's what our laws are based on. I'm going to get to the other laws that some people would like it to be based on, the religious laws, and both of them are the same thing. Both of them, if you actually read them, and you actually read them the way they are meant to be read, then you know what? You would be against the death penalty. If you are for the Constitution, if you are for the Ten Commandments, it doesn't matter which one. You could be an atheist for the Constitution. You could be a conservative, crazy Christian for the Ten Commandments. They both say no on the death penalty. And you can say to me, Matt, but it doesn't really say no to the death penalty. I'm going to tell you what the Eighth Amendment says. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. And that's the rub, right? People are like, well, cruel and unusual punishment means that it could be anything. But it doesn't. It doesn't. You can't look me in the face and say, Matt, cruel and unusual punishment does not include killing somebody. And with the ways we have to do it, how is that not unusual? People don't die every day from gas chambers. Okay, they did at one point. Somebody should tell Sean Spicer. But that's not the point. People don't die from gas chambers. Okay, people die of electrocution, but never sitting there just waiting to be electrocuted. People die of natural things, or they get into accidents or whatever. But cruel and unusual is finding ways to peacefully kill people, or what you think is peacefully kill people. It's like gentle kill turkeys at Thanksgiving. You still got to kill the fucking thing. It doesn't matter that you do it gently or what you think is gently, it's still killing something. Cruel and unusual punishment, to me, and to anybody with a fucking brain, will tell you that putting people to death by the state or by the government is against the law. Now, it'd be nice if the Supreme Court would step up and say that. But there, too, they get all that lawyer crap. Well, it could. It could be really anything. And cruel and unusual isn't very precise. No, it is precise. You can't tell me it's not cruel to kill somebody. I don't give a crap what they've done. I don't care what they've done. It is cruel and unusual to kill them. That's the Constitution. Now, let's go to the Ten Commandments, shall we? Because that's the one everybody really wants to live by, or all these wackadoos want to live by. Now, for those of you who don't know, you think it says, thou shalt not kill. Well, that's what it's turned into. The original commandment reads, you shall not murder. And I'm sorry, I don't care what they've done. It doesn't matter. You lay somebody on a bed and inject them with drugs so they never wake up again is murder. It may be state-sanctioned murder. You may not follow. You may not have any repercussions under the law, but that doesn't mean you don't have any repercussions in the eyes of God. Now, I don't believe in God, but you guys do, so that's why I'm speaking like that. So that's 2. Cruel and unusual, thou shalt not murder, or you shall not murder. And you can parse it away how you want, a state sanction. You can do all those things. You can. But if God really exists, if he really exists, you don't think he can see through that crap? You don't think he can see through that and be like, well, just because you made a law that said it was all right, didn't mean that I said it was all right because I told you it wasn't all right. It's an antiquated system that should never have been allowed in the first place, but it was in a time where things were sort of simpler and, they just did it because they didn't want to deal with putting the person in prison. We have better ways of doing things now. We have better ways of doing things. And the idea that us as a society has turns into lynch mobs at these times is unsettling in many ways. It sort of feeds into our primal sort of want and need to kill at will. And it needs to stop. So there you go. That's 2, right? That's 2. So we have the 10 commandments. God is telling you not to murder. And again, you can parse it any way you want, but in God's eyes, you're taking a life. It doesn't matter that somebody else, a human, said it was okay. God said it wasn't. You have in the Constitution, cruel and unusual punishment. I don't care what you say, killing somebody is cruel and unusual. Especially when you mean to do it. Now let's get to some facts, shall we? Because we love facts. Facts are fun. Facts are good, right? We love facts. If you wonder why the majority of white people like the death penalty, look no further than the fact that 34.4% of defendants are black, while 55.7% of defendants are white. Now, if you look at per capita, that number is astronomical for black people. Now, if you look at the other side of it, the race of the victims in the death penalty, by the way, this is deathpenaltyinfo.org, deathpenaltyinfo.org. This is also these same statistics, because I like to do that, is also on staticbrain.com. It's also listed differently. It's kind of a different way of looking at it. I prefer graphs and charts. It's just how my mind works. Race of victim in death penalty cases, the race of the victim 76% of the time is white, while 15% of the time it's black. So 34% of the defendants that are executed are black, but only 15% of the victims are black. That's one. Okay? Now, if you look at if you go by state, you can see how many death row inmates are in each state. California has the most. Florida has the second most. Texas has the third most. Now, you can understand that because those states are huge and the death penalty is legal and there's probably a lot of crime. New York is nowhere on there because it's not legal here. Now, if you go by death row inmates, it's 42% black, 42% white, and 13% Hispanic. So it's yet another use of police and the law to slowly, yes, very slowly, because there's not a lot of executions a year. But if you look at this, the majority of the people that are suffering from this are black people. Again, now you can say, you can give me numbers and I'll take it, fine. But 55% white when we make up probably 70% of the country is not a lot. It's not. Black people make up something like 17% of the country, yet they have 34.4% and 42% of the death row inmates are black. The 34% is race of defendants executed. So 34% of all the death row executions have been black, while 55% have been white. Okay? Those are the people executed. The other number is people on death row right now. So that number has gone up for black people over the years. But the bigger problem is that it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? They asked law enforcement, DPIC, found that police chiefs ranked the death penalty last among ways to reduce violent crime. 2 said that. 1 was lack of law enforcement resource. 2 was drug and alcohol abuse. 3 was family problems, child abuse. 4 was lack of programs for mentally ill. 5 was crowded courts. 6 was ineffective prosecutions. 7 was too many guns. 8 was gangs, and 9 was the insufficient use of the death penalty. And do you know why? Because if you're chasing the gang leader, if you're chasing a serial killer, if you're chasing somebody who has done so many deplorable things that they're absolutely going to get the death penalty, they don't care. They don't care. The way we've done it has changed. We started out with firing squads and hangings. Now, since 1976, there's actually been 3 firing squads and 3 hangings. I imagine those were very early in the process, but nonetheless, they were those. 11 have been done by the gas chamber, 158 by electrocution, and the most popular, of course, is lethal injection at 1273. But the problem with that is those drugs, you can't get them anymore. You can't get them anymore. And they have been proven to not necessarily be all that great. When you're not sedating people, how is that not cruel and unusual? When you're just pumping them full of poison and just having them die. Of course, the South, Texas and Oklahoma, if you include that, is responsible for almost over 90% of the executions, which doesn't shock you because those are mostly red states. But the one thing you can see from every stat that exists is that the death penalty doesn't work. It doesn't deter people from committing crimes. It's also very difficult to get as well. But if you do get somebody who gets it and they are mentally disabled, then, well, we have a Supreme Court case that's being decided about that. Though all those things together, we are talking about killing people with an IQ of 77. We're talking about killing a schizophrenic. The guy doesn't even know what he did. He may not even understand that what he did was wrong. Now, that person should not be allowed out in the world. He shouldn't. But they shouldn't kill him. He doesn't understand. Not to mention the fact that something like 130 people, where is it? Number of clemencies that have been granted. Okay? 268. 268 out of about almost, so the current number of death row inmates is 3,035. The number of executions in 76 has been 1,392, okay? So that's about 4,500 people, all right? Get 450, something like that. And 268 have been given clemency. Stop. We know better now. We know how to do this better now. There has to be a better way than this. And there is a better way. There is a better way. You can put them in prison without a chance of parole. You can do all sorts of different things. But the average cost of a death penalty case is $2.4 million, which I guarantee you would be enough money to keep somebody alive for a little while. The death penalty doesn't work. It doesn't work. And us as a society trying to put people to death based on a mob mentality where we've decided as a group that this person has done something so deplorable that as a society we are going to take their life from them is wrong. It's just wrong. And there's no other way to look at it than that. Because if you think all lives matter, if you think that abortion should be illegal, if you think you are pro-life, if you think you are a person who is a God-fearing person, if you're a person who believes in the Constitution, if you are a person who espouses by these rules and lives by them every day, then there is absolutely no way that you can be pro-death penalty. There's no way. Because if all lives matter, then all lives matter. And that includes the bad ones. That includes the mentally disabled ones. That includes the ones who kill for profit. That includes every single person on the planet. And you can't want death for them no matter what. Now, you can throw at me, well, the Bible says an eye for an eye. We don't make laws based on the Bible. He also said an eye for an eye, and he said thou shalt not murder. So if somebody murders you, then you're telling me to go back and kill that person isn't murder, which is ludicrous because that's not true. Taking somebody's life, whether you mean to or not, is murder. Now, you may not go to prison for it, but that doesn't change the fact that you killed somebody. Okay? So for all you people out there, for all my friends who every time somebody says Black Lives Matter, you're on the comment section saying all lives matter. For all my friends saying that the death penalty has to stay because it helps. It doesn't help. Unless you're a racist, in which case it absolutely helps you because most of the people that are going to die by the death penalty are black. It's going to be a slow burn, but that's how it's going to be. If you are for the death penalty and you are a person who is a Christian and you are a person who believes that all lives matter, if you are one of those people and you believe that the death penalty should be legal, you are in fact wrong. Okay, on to one of my least favorite sayings in the entire world, which is snitches get stitches. And I got the idea for this because I was watching a TV show, Parks and Rec. If you've ever watched it, it's a great idea. And there's this character, Donna, and she has shares in a nightclub, and somebody else is forced to sell because he works in government. It doesn't matter. Either way, she doesn't have to sell her shares because the guy who's her boss didn't know that she owned them. And so when they find that out, she says this:
Snitches get stitches.
Now, when you're talking about that, it's fine. It's a comedy show. It's meant to be funny. But this saying, along with rat and stool pigeon and snitch and squealer and canary and stoolie and informer, they're all the same thing, right? They're all the same thing. And what they're telling you is that I'm doing something very illegal and you're not allowed to say anything about it. Now, look, I get it. If your little kid comes up to you and says, Daddy, Johnny took my slipper, yeah, maybe you say, don't snitch on your brother. Okay, that's fine. But even starting there, the idea that the person has been wronged is somehow the wrong in the wrong is wrong. Think about it. Anytime somebody is snitching, squealing, telling, whatever you want, tattling, whatever you want to say, most of the time those people have been wronged and wronged in a big way. Now, this is seeped into every aspect of our life, including our president's life, where he still, to this day, is twittering not about the fact that his campaign is being investigated for being in collusion with Russia, but that people released this information. You should go after the people that released the information. Go after the snitches. Go after Edward Snowden. Not the government for spying on us. Not for Trump's campaign. And we don't know if this is true, but if it is, not for Trump's campaign colluding with Russia. Don't go after them. No. Go after the person who's told on us. That's the real person that you should go after. The snitch. And what that breeds is a society where it's okay to do illegal things because nobody's going to tell on you. One of the things that makes my head explode is the blue wall of silence, or blue code, or blue shield, however you want to talk about it. The idea that if you're a cop and you see another cop doing something illegal, that you aren't supposed to say anything about it because you're both fucking cops. Except for the fact that your job is to stop people from doing things that are illegal. That's your job. You gave an oath. Probably hand your head to your heart or did a salute or did something, but you told an oath. But the idea that you're both cops so that it's okay, or that it's just turn the other cheek or whatever, it doesn't matter. The idea that when you see something illegal, that you are not to say something because you will be considered a rat, you will be an outcast in your precinct, you will be somebody that is put on leave or fired, is the reason that we have cops shooting black people on the street with their hands up and nothing happens. Think about this for a second. How many black men have died in the hands of police before we had cameras? How many? I don't know the number. I would imagine it's fucking high. Okay? Because him and his partner, he shoots the guy and the partner's like, whoa, he was giving up. He was running away. No, he wasn't. And if you say anything, snitches get stitches or we'll do something to you. We have to stop. We have to stop going after the person that's been wronged and go after the person who did the wronging. We have to stop. We have to stop being bullies, because that's what it is. That's a bully thing. Bully punches you in the face. If you tell on me, I'm going to do it again tomorrow. They're going to do it again tomorrow anyway. The country is going to continue to spy on us anyway. But isn't it better that we know? Edward Snowden is still in Russia somewhere. Who knows where? Because he can't come back here. Because he might go to prison for the rest of his life if he comes back here for releasing information about our government doing something that was fucking illegal. Does it make any sense to anybody why we would still use this moniker in everyday life? No, of course not. It doesn't make sense, and it won't make sense. And until we change it, we're going to continue to have senators and congressmen and judges and presidents and vice presidents and diplomats and whatever doing illegal crap because we live under a guise that if we're both senators, you can't tell on me, or we're both cops, you can't tell on me, or, I'm a diplomat, you can't tell on me. Because if you snitch on me, I might snitch on you. Or I might send somebody to hurt your family or whatever. It's gotten to the point now where people they have problems finding witnesses because people are scared that there's going to be reprisals. Or that if you live in a community where you tell on somebody, you'll be known as the snitch. The rat. You go to work at the police station, there's dead rats in your locker. I'm not saying it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't. But the mentality has to change. It has to change. If we are ever going to move forward as a society, we have to start being honest with each other and honest with the fact that there are many people who do illegal things every day and get away with it because of these ideals that have been instilled in us forever. The ideal that you can't tell on anybody, that you can't snitch. Watch the movie A Bronx Tale. The whole entire thing starts because the kid didn't snitch. But if he had snitched, his father probably would have gotten beat up. We live in a society right now that is rewarding the wronger, or the person doing wrong is being rewarded while the wronged, the people that are wronged, or the people that show or point out the wrong has been doing are the ones that are being vilified, are the ones that are being made to go to Russia or in prison like Chelsea Manning. Not the people who did it, not Dick Cheney for giving us false information, not George Bush for giving us false information, not them for spying on us. Not Trump for talking to Russia. No. The people that put out the information, because snitches get stitches. And even if I do illegal crap, you're not supposed to tell on me. Well, let me tell you something, folks. If you believe that ideal, if you really think that is a great way to live life, to just let people do illegal crap, and I'm not talking about stupid little crap. I'm talking about major stuff. If you are on the side of the government against Edward Snowden, if you are on the side of the police when they talk about the blue wall of silence, if you are on the side of senators and congressmen who are trying to get away with ethics violations because nobody tells on them while everybody looks the other way. If you believe that those things are fine, you are so wrong. I can't even tell you anymore. You're wrong. That's going to do it for this show. We will be doing this show Monday or Tuesday. I do a sports podcast as well, so that sometimes gets caught in the mix. It's with somebody else, so it's whenever they can do it, Monday or Tuesday. So this will be the opposite day of that. You can always check out the Batshit Crazy Pants Super Show, which has gone under a little bit of a change. It'll be audio and me from the week of the craziest things that religious Christians and our president and whatever have said. We'll also have Angry Scottish Jesus reading Donald Trump tweets as well. That'll be all on the Batshit Crazy Pants Super Show. There'll be no policy there. Where we will talk about stuff is my new show, which will be on Thursdays. That's called Pessimistic Politics. We will look at the state of our country, different laws that are being enacted, things that Trump is trying to do to get around things, and basically everything that's concocted with our country right now. And then, of course, if you like musical theater and want a little break from politics and nonsense, you can always listen to the musical show. That's every Sunday night at 7 o'clock. All on Spreaker.com. Just go and search for the page at the Match Show. At the Match Show 365, I believe what it is. And speaking of that, you can follow me on Twitter at the Match Show 365, as well as on Facebook by the same name. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next Tuesday. The show will be Tuesday next week. We'll be back next Tuesday. And what we're thinking about for next Tuesday, I'm not quite sure yet, is maybe Stand Your Ground. As always, Clint plays us out.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so nevermore shall we see you.